Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Pots and Petals, everything garden and allotment related. I'm going to keep this quite short because I've got strimmers, mowers going off left, right and centre, because it does seem like today is probably going to be our last day of summery heat, so people really are making the most out of it today. I have had a little wander around and there's quite a few beds that do need clearing. So the sweet corn, I want to get that into the compost heap today, clear that out and think about what I'm going to use that bed for. The onions, they've been delivered, and I've also got some garlic bulbs, so we'll get a few beds cleared so that we can plant those out today. And finally the polyhouse, that needs a really good sort out. The cucumbers are done. I think there's a chili plant in there that will probably keep, but the rest of the tomatoes, they can come home with us today, and then we can think about what we're going to plant in the polyhouse over the autumn and winter. So lots of tidying up, lots of clearances today, so we'll go and start off down at the sweet corn bed and give that a good clear up. So come on guys, let's get stuck in. So as you can see, the sweet corn is starting to look very dry and dead now. I mean, I have managed to get a good 20 to 30 cobs off these plants this year, but they're now at home in the freezer. But a couple of tips if you are planning on freezing your sweet corn. First of all, please make sure that you do blanch them, because that way you're going to keep that very vivid yellow colour of your sweet corn and also the sweetness. Another tip is that I would get these in the freezer with it the same day that you've picked them, because as soon as you've picked these cobs, you'll find that the sugars start to turn to starch pretty quickly. So if you want that sweetness, get them in the freezer ASAP. Quite a few of these cobs have been attacked by the rats, as you can see, but there's a few on there that don't seem to have bulked up, so I will just check those before we put them in the compost heap, because there might be a few more cobs that we can take home with us today. Let's get in here and give this a real good clear out and see what space we've got for the onions and the garlic. That is all looking a lot neater and tidier. Now, because I had such a poor onion and garlic harvest this year, I'm giving these 3 beds, plus the bed with all that sweet corn sitting on at the moment, all over to onion and garlic, just in the hope that we do get quite a nice harvest next year. So all we're going to do is just chop down that corn into smaller pieces, just so it can rot down a little bit easier on the compost heap, and then we'll give that bed a good weed over as well. There we have it, all ready for the onion and garlic to go in. There is a Verbena bonariensis, but I'm going to leave that in, and also the sunflowers, as they will feed the birds all over the autumn and winter period. Now, I was going to plant the onions and the garlic in there today, but I am conscious that I had some hungry plants in all of these beds. So we had the beans in this one and then the sweet corn in the other 3. So what I would like to do is just sprinkle some chicken manure pellets in all 4 beds and just give it a little watering in, just so that those pellets will crumble up, go into the soil, and then we can think about planting them in tomorrow. these are the onions that I started a few weeks ago, and these are from seed. Because I had such a problem with my onions this year, I thought I would try some from seed. It's the first time I've done it, and they seem to be coming on along quite well, so we will just need to keep an eye on these over winter, and once they've got a little bit bigger, we can start pricking them out and start planting them out into the final beds. But that will be a couple of months away before we start thinking about that. Just look at the buttery yellow flowers on the Jerusalem artichoke, absolutely stunning. A few of these have started to pop, so it shouldn't be too long before we've got loads of little yellow bobbing heads up in the sky again. And this smells like vanilla, something which I've never smelt from a plant before. Absolutely beautiful. About a month ago we sowed some green manure in these two beds. It's already started to flower, so the last thing you want is for this to start self-seeding all over the place, because you will have a little bit of a weed problem if you do, but the bees seem to be really enjoying it. But I will need to think about giving this a little bit of a haircut before these flowers start turning to seeds. But I think we'll let the bees enjoy them just for a little bit longer. Some of you might think I'm a bit of an eager beaver trying to clear this out already, but a lot of the tomatoes have already ripened on the plant, and those that haven't ripened will ripen at home absolutely fine anyway. So I want to pick all the tomatoes off the plants today, and then we'll cut them off at the stems and we'll get them in the compost heap. And also the cucumbers, they're starting to dry up and they're looking a little bit old and manky, so we'll clear those out as well. I think the only things I'm going to keep in here is the Scotch bonnet chili plant, and see if those peppers will ripen up, and some of these French marigolds, because they're full of blooms and it just seems a bit of a waste to chuck those in the compost. So let's get in here, harvest these tomatoes and start clearing out some of these old plants. Looking a little bit bare in here now, but hopefully it won't be like that for too long, because I do plan to grow some winter greens in here over autumn and winter. So that's things like lamb's lettuce, some chard, some spinach, and maybe some Japanese greens as well. I've still got the cuttings down in the corner of the poly house. Now I must remember to keep on top of the watering throughout the winter, otherwise these will dry out, but they're all doing absolutely fine and seem to be coming along quite nicely. Quite sad to think that these are the last tomatoes of 2023. I have got a load of ripe ones underneath those green ones, but I did just want to say, don't throw away your green tomatoes, because you can use them either in a green tomato chutney, but they're also great if you slice them quite thickly and fry them in a bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt, and they make a perfect side. So yeah, don't throw away your green tomatoes. Give it a Google and there's loads of recipes you can find. So that's all we've got time for today, folks. I'm a little bit sweaty, and just look at the state of me. I think I need to get home and have a real nice bath. But I have managed to get 4 beds sorted today, ready for the onions and the garlic to go in. And we've also cleared out the poly house, ready for all the winter stuff, such as your spinach, Japanese greens, and some other little bits and pieces. But I'm going to be back down here tomorrow because we want to get the onions and the garlics planted. So I'll take you through how I plant those up. And then we'll also just have a little wander around and see what else is going on. I mean, this time of year, it does mean that there's a lot of clearing up to do, but I will try to make it as interesting as possible over the next few months for you. But do come back again tomorrow for another little adventure down the plot. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. In the meantime, take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.